today I'm talking with our next foreign visiting professor, Dr. Andrius Svarplys from Lithuania. Andrius is a lecturer at the University of Applied Science in Kaunas. In the past, Andrius was a lecturer at the Witoldas Magnus University as well. And right now, Andrius is finishing his stay in Poland. You are leaving in few days, so I think that's a very good moment to make a brief summary of your stay, and that's why I have some questions to you. So, but firstly, once again, Andrius, thank you very much for your stay in Poland. We are very grateful, extremely grateful. We appreciated very much what you have done during the stay. That was a very impressive work. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And I hope that you have had a nice stay in Poland, especially at Collegium Intermarium.
Actually, me should be very thankful, and I am very grateful for your invitation, because, not in each day you receive such good proposal for changing the experiences. And I was very glad for visiting here, and this is not just formal words. I am really from my heart, thank you for your invitation.
You're welcome. Glad to hear it. And as for my question, firstly, I'd like to ask you about your feelings, your impressions of the classes you had here. You had some lectures at our LLM in Human Rights and International Dispute Resolution postgraduate studies. And what could you say about our students? What could you say about the program of these studies? I'm very curious about that.
All right, but before starting to tell you my impressions, from the academical, from the pedagogical sides, I would like to stress the importance of the general situation we are now working in. I mean the certain ideological context surrounding studies, surrounding politics, surrounding public views. And if we do not understand this context, I mean, this context in America is called liberal left. In my country, sometimes it is called globalist, neo-Marxist. But the essence is the same, that some ideologies coming from leftist kind, of globalist kind, they pretend to push sciences, especially social sciences, political sciences, into the corner. They want to ideologize sciences, and that's the problem. Plus adding the censorship, kind of censorship, that all scientists, all lecturers, all the professors must somehow to fit to a certain unreachable, untold publicly standard. Everybody understands what to speak, in what direction to think and speak, and they must control, somehow in one way or in another. So we need to understand at first this context. And if we understand this context, then it is very important. We see that it is very important to have, I don't know how to call it, not just the traditional views, not just the conservative views based educational institution, but just institution of higher education which wants to pursue classical educational and scientific standards. Because it's not accidental that your college put in your mission to provide education in classical sense. Classical education. It's not, I hope, that it's not accidental, it's not just the words. Because
it's not by accident.
Exactly. So we need this because of this changing political educational situation. So when we understand this, then it is more easier to approach concrete practices, and when I a little bit touched, let's say, or experienced these practices you are doing here in your Collegium Intermarium, what can I say? From the students' perspective, I found students just normal students. They are not how to say, somehow different radically, you know, from one perspective or from another. Just generally speaking, they are normal students, they are curious, they have an interest to understand what's going on in a particular field. I was teaching, or I guess they're asking their professors as well as in the another fields. So in legal matters, in the political, in the European legal matters. So they are curious, they seeking the truth, you know, they want to know objective knowledge to get them, to get it. And this one impression, and from the students' point of view, from the studies point of view, from the college approach to studies to students, I witness the attempt to provide, you know, not just narrow perspective, you know, of that field. You are coming, for example, from the European studies, and from the European studies you are pursuing just one very narrow aspect of these studies. When I looked at your program, for example, I saw many different subjects, and this corresponds to what we can call artes liberales, classical education, variety of views, and I think this is particularly important, and even I dare say that it may be your strength as the institution, as the pedagogical educational institution. It's very important to have not just studies orientated towards just limited, concrete, narrow field, but to have variety of perspectives. And I found it very interesting and very useful.
Okay, so thank you very much. That's a very nice compliment for us, and I'm very grateful of that. And you have underlined the importance of the idea of classical education as, yes, that's true. Classical education is extremely important for us. Is an essential part of our mission. Yes, and. You have also had some opportunities to make a supervision of another classes at Collegium Intermarium. As I said, you had some own lectures here, but apart from that, I know you have visited some another classes at Collegium Intermarium. You have met with some of our lecturers, and what are your impressions of these visits?
Very good impressions, and I'm saying not just, you know, from being polite perspective, but frankly. Why? Because I saw the open link between the professors and the students. For me personally, as a teacher, as the lecturer, is important. This link, I am seeking this link to create and to maintain, not just to read from the paper, from the slides, from the books, you know, and leave the class alone. No, I need audience when I am talking in the auditorium. I mean that this audience must be active, participative, let's say. So I saw these tendencies and I liked them. And I, you know, treat them as a part of classical education, actually, because when I was a student in my own home, Vytautas Magnus University, and this was called the method by Socrates, you know, Socratic method. It means open approach between the professor and the student, not in the scheme that professor is somehow bureaucratic instance, authority, which you cannot reach by your questions, by your comments, by your insights. You know, no, on the contrary, it is open, like Socrates was in ancient Greece, and openly involving both sides in the debate. That is, from my personal understanding, one of the major points of classical education. So I saw these tendencies, I was very glad.
Me too, and I can add that one of our previous visiting professor described such a situation. I mean the situation. I mean the context between between students and professors at Collegium Intermarium, and he described such a situation as student-centered orientation. I think that's a very good good notion describing what we do here. So I agree with you, and yes, the relation between students and professors is also extremely important for us, and we'd like to be student friendly university. I can say,
Yes.
if I may use that
Yes,
term.
it is very good, but to be critical, on the other hand, if we stress the importance of the student to be at the center of the study process, I think it's one danger may come. Why and how? Because we see in the contemporary world, especially Western world, of course, I mean, the how to say, the commodification of the studies, commodification of everything. It is a danger for the education institution to become market-orientated, institution which just jumps, how to say, serves the client, the student. So in my perspective, classical education doesn't need to become pro-market orientated client relationship, style, because student, if he or she does pay money for his or her studies, it doesn't mean that the student rules everything. And I think scientific knowledge and the critical thinking and the seeking of truth must be, in any case, higher task than money that the students needs, that the professors needs. Somehow, something that means truth, objective knowledge, we need to remain them higher, like ideal. And I don't say that I saw this market orientation education. No way. And I'm very glad that you still are focusing yourself as the institution, as the studies provider. You are still, balancing these students' needs and the student as the center of everything with the, professors who provide higher knowledge, higher expertise, higher, scientific stuff, and we need in balance. To be in balance.
I see, and thank you very much for that remark. And I can say we are fully aware of that. But of course, I will keep in mind your remark. That's
why I told you this.
That the balance, if I may, the balance between these two approaches are important, and that's why we do our best to find that balance.
I just wanted to add brief word, why I told this, why this came to my mind. Because in Lithuania, I see the same tendencies, what I just, put like a danger. Because from each government, whatever political spectrum it comes, they always speak the same idea on education. Education must be profitable, must be suitable, adjusted to the needs of the market. And government even may give money for that program or for that, new program, but they thinking about what education, how to make each study process profitable, how the students, how fast they would, after they finish, they would adjust themselves in the market, to the market. So I don't think it is a very good idea. I don't think. Of course, we need market, we need education related to the market needs, but if we think solely on this, we will get
We will fail.
yeah, we will fail, and we will get bad situation in educational institutions in the universities.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
So therefore I said, not because I saw this, no, you are in advantage position, I guess, because you are new. You are a new institution, 2-3 years. So you have many energy, a lot of energy, to develop in ideal way. You have an ideal, you are pursuing it, and it's very important not to lose it.
Okay, I see. My last question refers to the evaluation you have done, you have made, and because during your stay you had to do that, and making the evaluation is in fact the most important part of your stay. And as for your evaluation, I know you will have a special evaluation lecture devoted to all the details regarding the evaluation, but right now, what could you indicate as our main advantages and main disadvantages? So what we should improve at Collegium Intermarium according to you, and maybe you could indicate also some recommendations for us.
Okay. At first, I would like to say that during this actually short period of time, I cannot do very exhaustive, analysis. But still, I made some inquiries, and starting from advantages, I would like to start from advantages. I clearly see. Actually, I already mentioned them. The most important is orientation on the classical style of education, or classical approach that is not very concrete, specific. It's wide orientated. It's not pro-market orientated, but pro-human being orientated. That human being is at the center. The cultivation of human being is much more important than later on his adjustment to the market. So these things, or Socrates method, so these things are very important, and I think these are the strengths. You need to keep it. You don't need to lose it. You need to maintain it at any cost. Because especially in times I have started, our dialogue at the beginning, in our times, which are very close to sort of censorship, sort of, pressure, sort of ideological claims, over the science. So we need to, and you need as an institution to maintain the classical approach to studies. But if you, as pressing me to tell disadvantages or what you may improve, what I noticed from the discussion with your students, and actually I think it might be very true, that you as a young institution, you did not develop yet the promotion of your institution. It is not very well known, let's say. In Lithuania, in my country, we never heard about you, never. About Ordo Iuris, we have heard, in some contexts, in one way or in another, but about Collegium Intermarium, we lacked the knowledge. So the students, your students, confirm that when they talk with their relatives, with their, friends, with their whatever people they met, people do not know Collegium Intermarium. So, of course, you are young. Of course, you are quite small comparatively with the other traditional universities. But I think you have to think how to promote the idea of classical education. Especially in these troubled political times, in ideological sense. Classical education, in my personal belief, has future. you know, not just has future. It is I understand it like the salvation of the sciences at all, especially social sciences, because of the ideological attack on them. So the promotion means not just for your institution, it has wider meaning. We need classical education in any way. It will be your institution, it will be another, we need it. So you started first, for example, then we in Lithuania, we don't have such, you know, private and pro-classical style-orientated university or college. We don't have yet. So you already are the first, you know, in front of us. So, but still, the promotion problem, the message problem in the public, that the public should have an idea what is classical education and where to get it, where to study such kind of studies, because they are valuable. I believe in it, and you also, as I understand, as an institution, believe in it. So the promotion is very important. And another, it's not maybe negative aspect, but what thinkful, no? How to think wishfully, what students would like to have in your institution. It's of course wider opportunities to choose subjects. But I interpreted it, and still interpret it, like again, from your young days, you know, 2-3 years is not long period to establish firm, solid study program with the variety of the opportunities. Maybe you are underdeveloped, and surely you are under development, you know, process. But from the students coming wishful thinking, you know, that they would be happy to have
more subjects to choose.
Exactly, yes. More subjects to choose, you know. I don't know what particular subjects, you know, I didn't ask, but this wish was expressed, so I transfer it to you. So maybe these two, and, you know, of course, I think the threat maybe potential sphere to develop in or to pay particular attention in would be, I'm thinking that any institution cannot have a solid research base, because studies are very related with the research field, because you are teaching what you have researched, of course. So a research field cannot be strong without the good library, good, you know,
yes, you
books.
are right. You are right.
Wide range, you know, rich library. So I wish you also to develop this aspect.
Okay. And thank you.
Actually, that's it, you know, these 3 basics.
Thank you very much for all your remarks, all your recommendations. They are extremely important for us, and all of them are very, very useful. And what I can say, we will try to solve all these problems, and please keep your fingers crossed. And Andrius, as I said, that was my last question. So thank you very much once again for that interview.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for the whole your stay. And I think I hope that just a beginning of our further cooperation in the future.
I hope also.
Okay, so thank you very much, Andrius, and thank you very much for your attention.